Right now at noon, an Arkansas man charged with manslaughter accused of distributing drugs that led to overdoses. How this is part of a bigger law enforcement initiative. Plus, an arrest in the killing of 4 people in Stone County last week. We'll share what we know just ahead. A new astronaut crew left Earth this morning, headed to the International Space Station, and we have all the details for you. Plus, a New York City child has received the FDA's newly approved treatment for COVID-19. A closer look at the life-saving treatment. Thanks for watching THV11 News at Noon. I'm Michael Laren. Let's start things off with meteorologist Nathan Scott. Depending on where you are, you may have just heard the sirens going off outside. That is the weekly test. Nothing to worry about in terms of the weather, at least today, Nathan.
Good afternoon, Michael. Yeah, severe clear is the term out there today. We've got lots of sunshine. This morning, though, it was cool. We dropped down into the low to mid 40s across the region, even some 30s showing up. 39 is where you started in Searcy. 36 was the chilly spot in Clinton. But now with all that sun, it's turning out to be another winner of a day. Temperatures already into the mid to upper 60s across the area. Wall-to-wall sunshine. We got some clouds over into Oklahoma, Texas, and those clouds will start to filter their way in here later today. A breeze coming in from the east-southeast about 5 to 10 miles per hour will be ushering in some slightly warmer temperatures. So highs today, ladies and gentlemen, get outside and enjoy this. We're going to top out into the low to mid 70s across the area. Another great day to get some stuff done around the yard, the garden, or just take a hike around the region. Take advantage of this weather, though, because look what happens. Rain chances, they do start to go up Thursday and Friday, and the highest rain chances, unfortunately, will be happening going into the weekend. I'll have more on that potential coming up.
All right, Nathan, now to a first-of-its-kind arrest in White County. An alleged drug dealer is charged with manslaughter this afternoon. He's accused of distributing drugs that led to overdose death. That suspect is identified as 30-year-old Jonathan Shaver. The White County Sheriff's Office says they've worked multiple overdoses involving pills in recent months. Investigators say some of those overdoses were fatal, adding the cases were connected by fentanyl-laced pills. After investigating, Shaver was arrested, accused of distributing those pills that would eventually lead to overdoses. The Sheriff's Office reminds everyone that while heroin is present in Central Arkansas, it pales in comparison to the use of opiates in pill form. Investigators may be one step closer to solving a murder mystery in Arkansas. They've made an arrest in connection with the deaths of 4 people. The murders happened last week at 2 different homes in Stone County near Mountain View. Arkansas State Police have released a statement saying that a person of interest in the case is in custody on unrelated charges. That person's identity has not been released. Neither is the county jail where they're being held. Last Thursday, the bodies of 77-year-old Shirley Waters and her 55-year-old son James were found at their home. Several hours later, 75-year-old William Trammell and his 72-year-old wife Sharon were found dead in their home a short distance away. Arkansas State Police say all 4 victims were shot and killed. This afternoon, Stuttgart is looking for a new police chief. THV11 has confirmed the city abruptly fired Mark Duke, seen here in file video from a previous story, but officials are not saying why. Stuttgart's mayor says the city doesn't comment on personnel matters. There's no interim police chief right now. Duke was a 25-year veteran of Stuttgart police and was promoted in 2019. In 2020, he came under fire on social media for calling the results of the November election into question and spreading misinformation. The pandemic has been tough on every single one of us in some way or another. We've lost loved ones, dealt with lockdowns, and many are left reeling, unsure how to move forward. Now a group is offering Arkansans a place to gather together and heal. An event focused on reflection and healing set for 6:30 tonight at Sherwood City Hall. It will start with luminarias on display along the pond walking trail just behind the building to remember the lives lost to COVID-19. You can even place a name on the luminarias if you'd like to remember someone specifically. Those hosting the event hope it helps people process all of the changes we've experienced due to the pandemic and offers encouragement moving forward. All right, let's switch gears now. New video shows Ukrainian soldiers firing rocket launchers in the direction of Russian forces. Chris Livesay has the latest from Ukraine.
As Ukraine fiercely fights back in the east, A new front may be appearing to the country's west. For 2 days, mysterious explosions in Transnistria, the pro-Kremlin breakaway region of Moldova where Russian troops are based. Moldova, without naming names, says the blasts were aimed at creating pretexts for straining the security situation. This as the global security situation grows more fragile, with Russia repeatedly firing missiles directly over Ukraine's nuclear plants. What is this? Are they threatening or correcting fire? I'm speechless, said Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, accusing Russia of threatening to turn nuclear power into a weapon on the very anniversary of the Chernobyl explosion that shot a fireball high into Ukraine's sky 36 years ago. Amid the threat of Russian shelling, no light is allowed save for these candles to honor the dead in the nearby town of Slavutic, built from scratch for the evacuees. Even more traumatic than the worst nuclear disaster in history is Russia's invasion today, says Mayor Yuri Fomichov, when a tank battalion occupied the Chernobyl plant, risking yet another catastrophe before retreating after a month. Even Mayor Fomichov himself was taken hostage. Enraged citizens rose up, waving Ukrainian flags. Soldiers fired warning shots and stun grenades, but they refused to disperse until their mayor was freed and their town liberated. Survivors now of not one, but two historic tragedies in Ukraine, says Alexei, who witnessed both the reactor and this war explode. We never expected either of them, he says. Chernobyl 36 years ago, or Russia attacking its brothers today. I can't wrap my head around it. All they can do is remember those lost in one nuclear disaster and hope not to bear witness to another. Now, energy, nuclear or otherwise, is yet another weapon in this war. Today, Russian energy firm Gazprom says it has cut off the gas to Poland and Bulgaria because they won't pay in rubles. Ukraine says it's the start of, quote, gas blackmail aimed at Europe. Chris Livesay, CBS News, Kyiv.
The U.S. and Russia pulled off a prisoner swap today despite tensions between the two countries over that war in Ukraine. A former U.S. Marine from Granbury, Texas, near Fort Worth, was jailed in Russia. Trevor Reed was convicted of assault after a night out in Moscow. Charges he denies. Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
Former Marine Trevor Reed is on a plane flying home to the U.S., finally free after his arrest in Russia in 2019. Reed's parents told CNN their son called as soon as he was released.
We were actually on the phone with Trevor when the president called. He, again, totally gracious and wonderful and kind, and said he looked forward to seeing us in the White House again.
President Biden met with Reed's parents in late March. The president released a statement this morning saying, "I heard in the voices of Trevor's parents how much they've worried about his health and missed his presence." He goes on to say the negotiations that allowed us to bring Trevor home require difficult decisions that I do not take lightly. Reed was released in exchange for a Russian pilot who had been convicted of drug smuggling charges more than a decade ago.
Trevor quickly told us that the American plane pulled up next to the Russian plane, and they walked both prisoners across at the same time like you see in the movies.
Senior administration officials say negotiations had been going on for months and were separate from Russia's war on Ukraine. U.S. officials say Reed is in good spirits, but his parents worry about his health.
We're praying that he doesn't have tuberculosis, but we're still concerned, that he was coughing up blood for months.
The administration says work continues to try and release other Americans wrongfully detained, including former Marine Paul Whelan and WNBA basketball player Brittany Griner. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Griner was detained on allegations of drug charges and is in Russia awaiting trial. The new FDA-approved COVID-19 treatment for kids is already saving lives. One family's success story in 10 minutes. But first, Nathan's forecast.
Enjoy the sunshine out there on our Wednesday. We'll see more clouds arrive here Thursday, Friday. Along with that, the chance of rain, but the chance of showers and storms will be going up just in time for the weekend. I'll have more details on that wet forecast next.